We back. I'm gonna continue where I left off at with the whole situation of the custody battle I went through. And with this is really important because I've been through this. Now, before I even get off into the subject, it was a very viral video that came out some time ago. It was a while ago. And to this day, it still shakes me to my core. It was a man that was going through a situation with his ex-wife, and he had a girlfriend who was also pregnant. And one of them was saying that they had allegations of all types of, things that he was doing with his children to keep them away, and he ended up taking them both out. And it was real chilling because he admitted that he'd done away with the girlfriend, and he said he was on his way to do his ex-wife. And he walked in that door, and he said, "Today's the day." I don't know if you guys remember that, but that video, to this day, I will never forget that. It was chilling, it was sad, and the only thing that I was thinking at that time was that I wish I could have spoke to that brother. I wish I could have said something to him. I wish I knew him. I mean, it was sad. It was sad because he done himself in too. Your life, nothing is worth more than your life. Nothing is worth more than even your peace of mind. Yeah, we men, we're not asking for happiness. We know that our life is not gonna deal with, rainbows and dandelions all day. We ain't trying to be happy all day. We know that that's not a possibility. We used to it. We cool with it. But when it comes to peace of mind, that's a necessity. That's non-negotiable. And what I'm about to tell you is what a lot of men going through, because I've been through it myself. And I've been through what that man been through. And I was very close. Very close. But God helped me through that. See, God show you signs of, that it's time to move on. It's time to explore different horizons. Live your life. That's what you're here for. You are not here to be subservient and to be a slave to no broad. He did not make you to do that. Matter of fact, it's against the Bible to do that. This ain't what this is not your purpose in life. This is not your destiny. This is not what you're here to do. But when you're going through custody cases, when you have your children ripped away from you, it's kind of hard to even honor that. Because the only thing that you're focusing on is, you're focusing on your kids. You love your kids. Now, from where I left off, my son's mother saw those license plates. And she said next time you're going to see him is when you go to court. She wasn't lying. And my mother had recently passed away. With her passing away, she was a school teacher. So I got a pension. I was her only child. And, my mother had recently passed away. With her passing away, she was a school teacher. So I got a pension. I was her only child. And, my mother had recently passed away. So I got a pension. I was her only child. And, my mother had recently passed away. With her passing away, she was a school teacher. So I got a pension. I was her only child. I got a pension, and basically we went on from there. So I got a nice little setup. It's about 120 something thousand, something like that. Decent little setup. And my mistake was going to this court system. First of all, I didn't have a job. That's first off. And I'm going to get directly into that. Fellas, when you're young, you living your life, it's only natural that you trying to deal with women. It's only in our nature. It's only in our nature that we're going to deal with that. And a lot of our mistakes is that we put them on a pedestal as a priority in our life. We take risks. We forget what we need to do. We stop looking at the long run. We stop looking down the line. We want things right now. We want women right now. We deal with certain women or whatever that's not even good for us. And instead of focusing on our purpose, you chase them. And it sickens me when I see people online telling young dudes how to pick up women, how to deal with women, how to deal with that. Listen, let me tell you something. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you. Either you got it or you don't. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Either you got it or you don't. And a lot of men, a lot of boys, when we're that young, the ones who are very successful in getting women, the reason why they have that it factor is because 9 times out of 10, them dudes is fucked up in the head, including myself. We come with a lot of drama. We put women through hell. I don't know how many of my girlfriend's cars I done totaled. I don't know how many times I done picked them up late in their car while they walking on the side of the expressway trying to get home. I've done it. I'm not bragging about it, but I was that toxic dude. Never had a problem getting women. Because I kept a heartbeat. I was decent looking, but at the end of the day, I was toxic. Man, I had issues. Women who I've been with, you know it, and I love y'all. We had a good run, and y'all was good women. But yeah, I had problems. I wasn't easy to deal with. But they liked it. The bad boy situation. I wasn't technically a bad boy, but I had a messed up viewpoint when it comes to women because my relationship with my mother was skewed. So when other guys was, wooing them and whining and dining them and taking them out, I'm like, man, I ain't give a damn, And women like that. Women like that. So sometimes when I say either you got it or you don't feel bad, because what a lot of those dudes got is the fact that they are toxic. Like, they really are messed up individuals, because I was one. And women like projects. Also, they don't want to be accountable for nothing. So as long as you do dumb shit, they could do dumb shit right with you. That's just the way it goes. But going to the court situation. So I went in, I got a lawyer, and in my mind I had this money. At that period of time, my ex-wife, she moved in with me because we wanted to be together. I really love Texas, but I didn't want to leave my son, and I wasn't going to leave Chicago. I was trying to actually go for full custody, though. Right? That was another mistake that I tried, but that's what I went for. And on top of it, his mother, my son's mother, was a police officer, Chicago PD. When I tell you that was an emotional, dumb decision that I made, it was crazy. So I get a lawyer, retaining fee. Now this is back in the early 2000s, 2006, I believe, 2006, yeah, early 2000s. So retainer fee alone, just to start off, 5,000. That's off the rip, $5,000. Phone calls, everything that you do, every line of communication that you actually have, you're paying for. No ifs, ands, or buts. That money's gold. It goes fast, real fast. I was in this battle for 2 years, almost 2 years, maybe about a year and 9 months. I was in this battle. Now, I came in screwed up. I'm emotional. No employment. I got money. No employment. And I got a background at that period of time. I was under specialized probationary period, where in Chicago, if you do a crime or you do something, they'll give you a probationary period, which is outlandish, by the way. Once you actually finish that probationary period, they wipe your record clean. The trick is, that probationary period is extremely strict because you get dropped on a random basis, and mine was for 10 years. So you already know how probation is. You can't be around felons. You can't even take a piss outside in public. What really saved my life was the fact that I did have my son. So with me having my son, that kept me in the house. That kept me away from doing dumb shit. I wasn't never in a situation where I was a street dude and did gangster shit. Because you had those dudes too. But I did a lot of stupid shit. So I put myself in a trick bag. So I'm saying this to tell you, focus on yourself. Do the straight and narrow. I don't care what your surroundings is like. I grew up from the hundreds of Chicago. Wild Honeys. I had a choice. I knew better. But I chose the fast lane, and that fast lane was short term, but I paid for it, and I'm still paying for it to this day. So I go up in this court case, and I filed this motion, do the retaining fee. I have this lawyer, and to be honest, when I first started, it was okay. Because I had this white judge, it was so long ago, I forgot his name, and I had a black female lawyer. Now, when I tell you, one thing I'm going to give you, you women, our women, if you a man and you going through a custody battle, I'm going to tell you, get you a black woman. That woman will rip her to shreds. She was good. But I couldn't get visitation at all for months because it's her word against mine. With her being a police officer, she actually sat there and said I was pimping out my house and selling dope. That's how I was getting my money. That's what she said. Now, mind you, she's a police officer, stayed 4 houses down from me. Well, they believe those allegations. It was her word against mine. So not only am I going through a situation where I'm going through a custody battle, I'm possibly going through a criminal investigation behind this because of what she says. So I'm trying to get visitation. I'm desperate at this point. Trying to get visitation. I'm going back and forth. And it took me months. I had to take parental classes. We had to do a home evaluation. They'd have to deal with a psychiatrist, with the child and all that stuff like that. It's a long process, and it's very degrading. Because while you dealing with this process, they treat you like shit. And it was surprising to me because I've been on both sides, family and criminal. When you're in criminal court, they give you more respect than you being a father fighting for your child. It's like they hate that. They hate it. Weird to me. Now, what really got me is When I first went to court, our first court date, the amount of men that was fighting for their children was crazy. It went against everything I believed. Like I said, I thought the story was Dad went to the store, got some cigarettes, never came back. That was most people. Dad was a deadbeat. Now, maybe that was true in our generation, and maybe that was the reason why was so many of us that was down there, because we didn't want to put our children through what we went through without being with our father like that, right? We know how it is out here. But it was so many black men fighting, crying, breaking down in tears, fighting to be with their kids. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I mean, these men were suited and booted. I mean, it was an in and out process like McDonald's, very fast. People think when you go to court like that, it's real, it's a long process. It's not. You have a line of people. You have so many people, and it's an all-day process. And they give you a time, you go in, and you basically, you got to sit there and wait your turn. But it's like when you going through criminal court, you know what I'm saying? It's very fast. They ask you what, they call your name, bring you up, give you a small summary of what's going on. If you have a lawyer, whatever like that, they speak their piece and you're gone. Then they tell you what next you have to do. You got to go to a mediation or anything else like that. So that was the process. Now, you got to show up. What really messed me up was the fact that I really believed, because mind you, I'm in my 20s at the time, so I'm thinking that you would think people would have compassion because they say the best interest for the child, right? Nah, that's not the way that go. Nah. It's the best interest for that state. Now, it took me some time to figure out the games that they was playing, Title 4D and all that shit. I did my research when I was young. It was real. I didn't realize the kickbacks that they was getting from child support and keeping fathers away from their families. And not only that, it was the fact that the prison pipeline, they wanted to keep that stuff going too. And they know you keep the fathers away 9 times out of 10, them boys going to jail. I saw a situation one time. This dude came in with a wife beater, I kid you not, out of dress code. He act like he didn't even want to be there. He had a daughter, a little girl. The mother was fighting for him to basically stay away. She didn't even want no child support. Like, she just wanted this man away. And the judge didn't give him no props. I mean, gave him visitation and everything. That young lady said, Your Honor, he kills people. He kills people. He's a danger. And I ain't gonna even lie to you. You can't judge a book by its cover, but I wouldn't doubt it. But he might not do it to his daughter. But he was very nonchalant about it. He didn't even care about being there, but he showed up. And he got visitation with no problems. Now, when I seen these dudes come in with these lawyers, we was getting a runaround. Oh, they tearing us down. I mean, they ask us a question, interrupt us while we speaking. I just asked you one question. I mean, it was degrading as shit. I mean, it was crazy. You would want to jump over and just... I see why they got metal detectors there. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. So, I went through that over and over again. We was almost finna crack it where I was about to get visitation. The moment I was about to get visitation, they changed my judge. And my judge was this older white guy. And he explained to me, he said, I see what's going on. I get it. He said, but we still have to go through due process. And I said, I understand that, because you don't know me, you don't know my child. But he was real forward with me and told me how it was going. So he was pushing up the classes. He was making sure I made all my classes. I did everything I was supposed to do. Home evaluations, all that stuff, right? Everything was going through. Me and my ex-wife wasn't married yet. She was living with me. She moved in with me. because I said I can't do nothing unless I at least fight, you know. And I really thought with my naive state that I had a possibility of winning, and I mean that was just crazy because I was seeing men that had jobs, that had things going for them. I've seen police officers barely get visitation and just getting towed down in the system. Police officers getting towed down in the Chicago family court system. I'm telling you, ain't no joke. So I'm going back and forth dealing with this. They switched my judge up right before I was going to get visitation to this white woman. And when I tell you this woman hated me, oh my God. But I still had no visitation. I had to deal with all these classes. And what I had to do was I had to show proof that I was looking for employment all the time and everything, which it was already explained I had a background. Now, I didn't have a violent crime background or anything like that. It wasn't nothing like that, but it was still a background. So that was my thing. And then I was working to get supervised visitations, which we're going to get into that. So we go on. All of a sudden, they take my lawyer away, put on another project, gave me this bullshit-ass lawyer. I mean, all he kept doing was document. He wasn't fighting. He wasn't doing anything. I was seeing what they was doing. See, my mistake is I told them what I actually had. I told them my income because I was in a desperate space. And you think people are trying to help you. No, their job is to milk you. If you tell them you have a certain amount of money, they're going to find ways to milk that. They're going to do it. They're going to milk you down. And that's what they was doing. So, a year and a half in, I'm already up 30 grand. That's just a year and a half. Going back and forth. I get visitation. I finally get supervised visitation where I have to go to her house and sit in the middle of the floor with all her family around to be around my child for like an hour or two. Right? I took some time to get that far. After that, I had non-supervised visitations, which I had 4 hours a day for 2 days out the week. And it switched because at that period of time, later on down the line, I had him on our birthday, and I took him to get his hair cut. And that was a whole situation too. Well, that was my call all the way from when I finally got visitation to when I just gave up. It was 4 hours a day, and at the end it was every Tuesday and Sundays. The rest of that time was for me to find employment, even though I'm paying child support. I mean, that wasn't an issue. But that was the rest of my time. It was not important for me to be around my son. So even of 2 years, the most that I've had as far as with visitation was 4 hours a day, 2 days out the week, Tuesdays and Sundays. Stupid shit. I was getting signs that, I start getting tired, and I start changing. I start getting evil. I start being out of my body. I started pretty much, I was angry. It got so bad that the only time I can get peace or a good night's sleep is when I imagine the worst happening to my son's mother. That's the only time I have a smile on my face. There's a lot of crying. Oh my God, I don't wish that on nobody. It's depressing. My ex-wife, we didn't make it. But one thing I will always give it to her. I thank God for him putting her in my life at that time. Because to be honest with you, and I will give her grace, I will always give her grace for this. I couldn't have done it by myself. Without her support, it's no way in the world I would have managed that by yourself. Because fellas, when you go through this, you are by yourself. You are alone. Your family is not going to have sympathy for you. Nobody's going to sit there and hug you. Nobody's going to sit there and even have your back. See, if you're a young man and you going through this, when your mama's around, see, yeah, your mama got your back. See, when your mama snap off, they don't know how to react to that. When police get involved, they don't know what to do with mama. When mom dudes come in, they don't know what to do with her. See, they don't play the games, but see, my mother passed away, so I was alone, so they was able to do the things that they was doing. My family pretty much stepped off, and not because my family was bad people. My family was going through their own issues, and she was too much. My grandmother said, "Baby, I love you, and I love my great grandbaby, but I can't deal with that woman. Not at my age." She said, "I can't do it," and I said, "I understand, because I was just grabbing for anybody to vouch for me." Now, we went through mediation one period of time where we have to have people vouch for us and tell us like what type of people we was, what type of parent we was. So she'll have her people on her side, I had my people. And I had a lot of family members, I had some friends. Shout out to y'all. Y'all showed up, took off for work. I remember that. I will never forget it, and was there for me. And let me tell you what these slick people did. When they saw how many people I had compared to how many people she had, because she just had a mother, nobody showed up for her. For this mediation, they had us wait all the way until the end of the day and then told us we'll have to reschedule it. My people taking off of work, everything else like that. This is how the game goes. It's a game in the system. It's a game in the system. Like I said, I had my son 2 days out the week. Period of time, I had him on my birthday. I took him out to get his hair cut with my uncle. My uncle's a barber. He is a barber. During that period of time, my ex-wife, we wasn't married at the time, she was pregnant. And we had some shootouts around my neighborhood. I mean, a lot, back to back. She's not used to it. So they had an incident in front of my house. And she ended up having a miscarriage behind it. So I rushed back. Her mother flew in, and it was a horrible situation. See, I've had signs that sometimes you have to let go. Sometimes when you love your children, you gotta let go. You're not a bad person because you're going against somebody who's fighting to keep you away. You gotta let go. It was signs for me to get away from them. But I was desperate for my son. I was fighting. She had a miscarriage. That was a big sign. She went through a lot. She went through a lot with that. I went through a lot with that. After the fact, me and her, after she had that miscarriage, shortly after, we got married. Because I proposed to her before then. We got married. And shortly after, she got pregnant again. Still going through this battle. I'm almost about a year and 6 months in, almost 2 years. Still going through this battle. And it wasn't going for me. It wasn't going against. It wasn't going for me. It wasn't nothing happening. At that same period of time, my probation was about to be lifted. I was about to go through my 10 years at that same time. So everything pretty much worked out. Now, we're still going through the custody battle. My last trip, I had they still was giving me this Tuesdays and Sundays, and they still milking me. I'm 40-something grand in already, right? It's not even 2 years in. And I see it's not going nowhere. So when my lawyer asked me what I want to do, I said, I give up. I'm done. Not only do I give up, but I waive my rights. And now I ain't waived my rights to die child support. It don't work like that. I waived my rights because I knew it was pointless. I'm not going to have a say-so. Because even when I had my visitation, she was violating that back to back. I'm going to tell you how cruel this woman was. My son was lactose intolerant just like his dad. Now, she didn't breastfeed, so we used Similac. Now, he had to use the orange pack because he couldn't deal with dairy. The 4 hours that he would come to my house, she would purposely give him milk. It was several times when he came to my house, I had to rush him to the hospital because he was severely constipated. See, this is what women do. They will destroy the kids. And I'm going to quote him, Mr. Palmer say, they hate the father more than they love the kids. It's the truth. Several times. If I'm lying, I'm flying. My ex-wife was with me at that. We was at the hospital together, purposely giving him milk. This boy was crying. He was stuck, rocked up. So I'm spending my 4 hours in the hospital, in the emergency room. And she had the nerve to get mad because I used her insurance for his visit. This is where we at. This is the situation of the level that women will go through when they hate you. They will sacrifice their kids. Oh, it was horrible. Oh, I was heated. At that period of time, you already know what's on my mind. You know what I'm on. But I had to let it go. It's lose-lose situation. So I that day, that last court day, I gave up my rights, and she, yes, that's exactly what she said in the courtroom. Yes, like she won something. Yeah, you won. You successfully got your father out of his child's life. And you know what? In the middle of this court battle, when I was in my 3rd or 4th month in, I seen where it was going. I came to her. I said, I will give you 20 grand. You already a police officer. Just let me see my son and move out this neighborhood. This is enough money. This is a down payment because I seen where it was going. You can get up out of here. You got the income. Just let me just see my son. It ain't about the money. This is what she told me. It ain't about the money. You know what, fellas? Because it's not. So, I relinquished my rights. I came home. I'm crying to my ex-wife. And she like, I can't believe she did that. And I looked up at her. And I said, I'm going to tell you something. If you ever do this to me, I'm not fighting. She looked at me and she said, why would you say that? I've been through this with you since it started. Why would you think I would do something like that to you? My father went through it with my mother. Why would you think I would do that? Needless to say, in the future, she did it. But anyway, see, sometimes with you losing, sometimes it's time for you to move on. And what I realized is my time in Chicago was done. It was time for me to grow, and it was time for me to leave. It was time for me to leave. But I kept fighting it. See, me losing was just not me not being good enough to be a parent. Me losing was because my life, it was just the beginning of what I was finna go through in my path. It was just the beginning of where it was gonna head me for my purpose. It was time for me to go, and I'm gonna tell you why. So shortly after that, of course, all the visitation, everything cut off. Wasn't none of that. I didn't trip. It was what it was. I mean, I was highly upset. I was cool, drinking a lot, playing video games. Now, I had a friend of mine who knew how to burn, like do bootleg Xbox games. And I went over his house one day and I bought like maybe about 5 or 6 games that I've been waiting for, you know what I'm saying? And I rushed to get home. And usually anywhere I go when I come home, I sit there and smoke my Black and Mild. And I drink me a Bud Ice before I step inside the door. Not because I had an issue inside the home. That was just something I always did since I was a teenager. But this particular time, I was in a rush to play these games. So I grab all my stuff, I jump out the car. Next thing I know, behind me, boom, 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 boom. Boom, they shooting everywhere. Bullets passing me, I could feel it. I could hear it. It's hitting the side of my door, it's hitting the wall, it's hitting the house. They wasn't shooting at me. They were shooting at somebody else. So I didn't think nothing of it. I get up in the house and I run upstairs, play the game. I mean, shit, I ain't hit. Check myself, I'm good. This was just a normal situation in the hundreds. So I wasn't hit. I go upstairs, play the game. I'm cool, right? Now, the last time my ex-wife had a miscarriage, she witnessed something like that. She couldn't take it. So the next day when I came outside, I was driving her car that she had. And I come outside in the morning. I was finna go to the gas station or something like that. And the driver's side was riddled of bullets. And the headrest right behind me was a big ass slug, which if I was still sitting up in that car, it would either been my mouth or my neck or something. I wouldn't have made it. That freaked the shit out of me. That scared the hell out of me. I went in the house and I told my ex-wife, I said, whatever you do, do not look at this car. Because she was pregnant with my daughter. We was married at the time. I said, don't look at this car. I said, we gone. I said, pack up whatever you need to pack up. We out. She said, well, what about the house and the furniture? Man, fuck this house, fuck this furniture. Hell, this is my mama's name. I don't want it. She done redid it and everything. She owes so much money on it. I don't care. We out. I'm not finna raise my daughter. I can't control my son, but I'm not finna raise my daughter here. And if she saw that, she would have had another miscarriage instantly. So we packed up. It was in July. We packed up the little bags that we had, moved the stuff out. We took my mother's old car, which passed away because her car was shot up. So I thought it was undrivable, but apparently it was, because later on down the line when I was in Texas, somebody actually took that car and did a hit with it, and I had to have proof that I was in Texas because they thought it was me. But anyway, we moved. And when I was driving past, that was the last time I saw my son, and his mama was holding him and was laughing because she seen the gunshot, she seen everything that happened. And I'll never forget, she said, the streets is mean, huh? Streets is mean, huh? Now what she didn't realize was this was gonna be the last time I'm ever see her. She didn't realize that. Came to Texas, never looked back. Now I did come back when my father passed away. But I let it go. But then again, I didn't let it go. Because throughout the years, even with my marriage, even with my kid growing up, my marriage wasn't easy. I was still going through my grief. I lost my mother, I lost my grandfather, I lost my son. All in the span of a few years. So it hit me. It tore me up. And it was very difficult for my ex-wife. You know, so we had issues when it came down to that. Couldn't keep a job because I didn't even have a job, you know what I'm saying, history. That's why I tell you, young fellas, get your trade, get your skills up, do what you need to do, get your education, do not deal with these streets and do that stupid shit. Because if you get one of these backgrounds, it's hard to get a license, you can't get nothing. Hell, some situations you can't even get housing, and you're gonna have to live off of bitches. Don't put yourself in this situation. So we struggling. I mean, we're not, because we had a lot of help, but at the end of the day, you know, now that we're around her people, my father told me, he said, listen, I don't know this woman too much, but she seemed cool. But let me tell you something. When people get around their people, they're different people. That's just the way it is. You don't know who she is until she get around her surroundings. And that was the truth. So we didn't make it. We both had issues. We both did things. And I'm not going to get into that because, you know what I'm saying, she's still a mother of my child. But parental alienation did happen. We get into it. She sent me divorce papers. I'm scared to death. I have no clue. I don't know people around here. I don't know people in Texas. And I prayed to God. I said, if I'm not supposed to go back, send me a sign. And me and her just got into a bad argument to the point that my daughter was looking at me scared, and I left the house. And I was jogging. And when I said that, as soon as I said that, a brand new F-150 came across from me because it was a busy street right next to where I jogged at, had a head-on collision. As soon as I said that, instantly I knew I wasn't supposed to go back, and I was confident about it. So when I get back home, we were staying with the mom at the time, and I apologized for getting into it with her daughter. I said, if you just give me some time, I'll get myself together and I'll be out your house. And this is the grandma. Oh, okay. I mean, where you going? They're laughing. You going back to Chicago? I said, no, I'm not going back to Chicago. Well, where you going? You don't know nobody? I said, I'm good. God got me. God got you. This is a woman who go to church every Sunday. What you mean God got you? I said exactly what I'm saying. I said, just if you can give me some time respectfully, I'll be out, which I was. She said, well, we can keep Sage, until, well, my daughter, we can keep her until she's 15, 16. I said, no, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not leaving Texas. So when I did leave the house, we got our divorce and everything. It was cool. Everything was, because I was still living in Beaumont. So I'm visiting on a regular basis because I'm right around the corner, small spot. But once I actually move to Houston, I move away, then it becomes a little difficult. It becomes estranged to the period of time where it was always an excuse. It was always micromanaging. I mean, not micromanaging, but passive-aggressive reasons as far as on why I couldn't talk to my daughter, to the point where I actually had to buy her a cell phone. And even when you do that, they find ways. They will take the phone. She's on punishment. She can't talk on the weekends, even though you paying for it. So it's always something. But I never left, because I know how important it is for a child to have his father, especially a daughter. Oh my God, it's crazy. But I'm gonna tell you this, fellas. You're not a bad person if you let it go. You didn't give up. You let it go. If you got to fight, I understand, because it's going to eat you up in your head to always wonder what if. So I would never tell you not to fight, and I will understand if you let it go. But your peace of mind is your peace of mind. Move on. Don't let this woman get you in your feelings where you make a horrible decision. And now your children have nobody because you done did the unspeakable. And don't harbor it. See, after all that and dating as many women as I dated, my anger towards the women has kind of transferred to something else. Because what I realized, even just dating so many women, no matter what the age is, the controlling factor that they have, the way they actually want to dictate their world. You're dealing with children. These women are children. See, what I don't like now, and the reason why, even though the women, my kid's mother, did the messed up shit that they did, I forgive them. I forgive them for myself. And if I forgive them because we need to place the true anger to where it's supposed to be. And that's to the weak men who made these laws. The weak men who back these women up. The weak men who be stepdaddies. See, those are the enemies. See, they couldn't get these laws and they couldn't get what they want unless they had men like that. See, a woman gonna only do what she gonna do. She's in her feelings. Anybody that's in her feelings, you give her a weapon, she gonna use it. I can't get mad at her because she's a woman. That's not giving her no excuse, because they still know what they doing, and they gonna atone for that. They gonna pay for that, and they're not gonna pay for it afterlife. No, they gonna pay for it while they still here, because all that hatred that they harboring, it ages them. It ages them. I look 10 years younger than both of my kids' mothers, because all of that bitterness and hatred that they still harbor towards me, I forgave them. It took me time. It wasn't overnight, because I really had to think this through. With the women, and I've seen them go through so much emotional turmoil, and even seeing women dealing with lesbian relationships and watching how they trying to destroy each other, I realized it's just in their nature to be evil. And if you give an evil person that's emotional a weapon, what do you think they're going to do with it? So it's the men. It's the men who pass these laws. It's the men that's on YouTube talking about ecclesiastic marriages and shit like that. It's these men who's trying to sell your ass out with marriage. They're not telling you the truth of what happens if things go left. It's these Steve Harveys. It's all these dudes. It's these old school cats that's trying to put you in a trick bag. And they've been there and done that. See, you watch these dudes who try to tell you, yeah, do this, do the right way, get married, do it the right way. No. You don't do things. You do your research, young fella. Hell no. Because that other side is hard and it's lonely, man. And you got to be strong to deal with that. Because on top of that, you got kids running, you got men running in and out your kids' life, and you can't control it. You can't control it. Do not let these women control or dictate your life. And I'm going to tell you like this. Push come to shove, I love my kids. And I know you love yours. But at the same time, I'm not going to even say it. But you know what I'm feeling. F them and them kids, man. Live your life. Enjoy your life. Matter of fact, look at the good side. Your hands is clean. You tried to be there, yet you ain't got the responsibilities. You ain't got to take them to school every day. You ain't got to go to hospital visits. She forced you out. Let her take care of it. Live your life. But don't be dumb enough to get some more pregnant. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's one reason why I deal with old women. I like them in HD. Hysterectomy and divorce, baby. I ain't trying to have no more kids. Having kids is like the worst nightmare of my life right now. There's no way in the hell world I've never had no kids. Not here. Now maybe if I got my money up, I'll probably go somewhere where the laws is different, you know what I'm saying, to make a deal with some young chicks. But ain't no way in hell I have no kids here. And for you young fellas, I'm gonna tell you like this: get your money up, travel, man, because you might have a better chance to be in your kids' life if they all the way in Portuguese or something like that. I promise you. My kid was 4 houses down, and I ain't seen that boy since 2008. You better off going overseas. Let these women deal with this shit. Let them get the Inventro or whatever they gonna do, and let them go ahead and lick or anything. Let them do what they gonna do. But keep your peace of mind. Keep your peace of mind. Signing off, fellas.